Good evening, my dear friends. Today I want to tell you a story about Julia Viktor and the Enchanted Clock, narrated by Bożena Dar. Once upon a time, there lived Grandpa Viktor and Grandma Julia. They loved each other dearly, but they were as different as night and day. Grandma Julia was always organizing everything, making plans and keeping things in order. She often said, "Everything must run like clockwork." Grandpa Viktor, on the other hand, loved to relax and enjoy life. He would often say, "A little rest never hurt anyone." Even though they sometimes disagreed, they were a wonderful pair, and their grandchildren adored them. One evening, as they sat in their cozy home, a soft knock came at the door. When Julia opened it, she saw a sparkling fairy holding an unusual clock. "Good evening," the fairy said with a warm smile. "I see you are a loving couple, but sometimes even the best teams need a little help to find balance." "What kind of clock is this?" Julia asked, curiously examining it. "This is the clock of harmony," the fairy explained. "When one of you becomes too strict or the other gets too lazy, the clock will chime to remind you to listen to each other." "Fascinating," Victor stroked his chin. "And it really works?" "Oh, yes," the fairy chuckled. "But only if you are willing to hear not just the clock, but each other." Julia and Victor decided to give it a try. At first, the clock ran constantly. When Julia gave too many instructions or when Victor got too carried away with his rest. But little something magical happened. Julia learned to let go and trust more, while Victor realized how important it was to keep things balanced. As they passed, the clock ran less and less. Their home became even warmer, filled with a laughter, love, and understanding. And their grandchildren, what about him? They loved them even more, because now every visit felt like a fairy tale. After all, true magic isn't in spells or charms, isn't in love, patience, and truly listening to each other. And from that day on, Julia and Victor lived not just happily ever after, but in perfect harmony. Thank you so much for listening my fairy tale. Good night.